So episode 7, here we go. Haven't seen it. Looking forward to move forward with the major plot line here. I've been able to somewhat come around on episode 6 to some degree. More and more to enjoy this, I have to accept, okay, this is another turning of the wheel thing, which I don't really like. It's not my preference, but since this isn't the same story, it's close, it's the same basic story, but since there's enough changes that it's not the same, not that I would want it to be exactly the same, but there's enough that it's a bigger, so far at least, there's a bigger differentiation than I would prefer so far between the book story and the show story. The positive side of that is I don't always know what's going to happen. In fact, I often don't. I like that. And then sometimes I like very much, like in episode 4, how what they choose to do. And sometimes I don't, or sometimes I'm okay with what they're doing, but I don't like how they did it. So that'll be we'll see if that continues going forward. But I'm still looking forward to this. I'm going to watch it right now, and I'll be right back. Yes! All right, yeah. All right, I think it's my favorite episode. It's or at least a tie with 4, but my favorite because it hit me the way 4 hit me, but it's hitting on, the story's plot points more closely. So naturally, that works better for me, and being a book reader and someone who's having trouble with changes, but that's okay. Man, I really loved this episode. Even the stuff they changed, my initial reaction was like, I immediately like, all is forgiven. All of a sudden I'll accept anything. Like, that's my immediate reaction right now. So I'm sure upon further reflection, you can pick this apart, and I may do another video to do that, but this is what I needed to get past the last. I like parts of the last 2 episodes for sure, but this is what I needed to keep me going. And I'm definitely looking forward to the final episode here. I'm loving that we finally got the reveal of the Dragon Reborn, probably, right? Because who knows, they could still alter, who knows what they do at the end here exactly, but I do love that we're getting scenes and story out of the books, and we're getting Rand being the Dragon Reborn. This is all happening in a different way to some degree, but I like how it's happening. I love Min. It looks like there's going to be some differences there, because apparently she's the one that saw the vision of his birth. I didn't catch if there was some opening for, yeah, I mean, that makes her older, right? That makes her older, I think, unless I got the timing of that wrong. Anyway, I love her anyway. I love, we'll see. It'll be interesting to see, that opens the door for more changes to her storyline relative to other characters. But it could still all be the same thing, and I don't know. So I'm open to that, and I don't want to spoil it or set expectations for anybody, so I'm going to avoid that in this video at least. Anyway, so I feel really good about this. I'm going to try to be a little bit more organized in my thoughts right now. But my first reaction is, oh yeah, if that's all you wanted to know. So the cold open, I'm very happy to see the blood snow thing. Very happy to see that is basically unchanged. Very happy to see they flashed back, and Rand did have that moment with his father. We just didn't get to see it. I loved the flashbacks where you can see his channeling in these moments where we couldn't see it before because there was no one around who could. That's a really good way to have hidden that he actually channeled, because no one else could have seen it, and they're not going to show it to us yet. I like that as a solution in those different moments where he actually channeled. and it wasn't necessarily obvious it was him. But I'm sure going back and watching, it'll be fun to do that, right? I love, that was well done. The ways, you know, there are changes in the ways, and now it becomes obvious, at least I think it is, why they chose to change how they open, because otherwise they could have just gone back out if you don't want to use the power. Yeah. So the requirement to use the power to open the ways makes more sense given the matte change. You know, it is an interesting question. How did Pat and Fane travel exactly or open the ways on both ends? I think I know the answer to that one, but certainly if you're just watching the show, how does that work? I like that the ways are still the explanation for how the Trollocs got to Two Rivers undetected. Obviously, you got to change something about who must have been with them to let them in and out. I guess we're suggesting possibly that it was Pat and Fane, but maybe it was something else. It depends exactly what was going on there. But at least there's, they've thought it through. Good, thank God, because sometimes it feels like they're not. But then here we are. It feels like they are. So I have a lot of my faith restored right now. Even in the stuff I disagree with, I feel like they are thinking it through. I was even thinking about the last episode, episode 6. We kind of reveal, and it's just in a line, that Moraine knows Loyal, and it has been sort of using his services or something. Thank you for your service, I think she says in episode 6. So that suggests to me that maybe she did have something to do with Loyal and Nynaeve meeting even. Or at least why, he was one of her people watching maybe even. I don't know if they're gonna actually go into that, but it seems like the setup for that implication's there, or the potential for that being the reasons there. Am I just overthinking that, or did I just miss that and everyone else it was obvious? I don't know, maybe. But so there's that. I was glad he had a little bit more of a role. He was still navigating the ways. Yeah, there is a little bit of like it's a thing where there's apparently at least a day's journey, but it's like they sit down and they wait, and then all of a sudden they're there, even though they didn't journey for a day. They sat still for a day, maybe? I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that one is. Maybe time in the way, yeah, I don't know. I'm not even gonna try. So that was it. I don't know. I can let that go personally. I like the way they did Mok and Shin, and the way it talked to you and lied to you. It's a little different from the books as I recall, but I like this version of it. It worked for me. We get more of Lan as a human being, since they've already opened that, and I don't know, I'm kind of enjoying this change in Lan's character. I think I do enjoy, because Lan's still Lan, but then we get his more human side that may have been there, but we never really got to see it that much in the books, certainly not like this. So it's once again, these changes, maybe not my preference, but I can still like them, to some degree. And then same thing with Moraine. Moraine is still mostly Moraine, but then we get other aspects of her character that are sort of honed in on and made to be, more clear as motivations. Like, they're definitely amping up the romantic stuff in general with everybody, all the characters now. I guess that's okay. It's okay. I get why they're doing it. It's an easier way to motivate things moving forward. I enjoyed this enough that I'm having, there are changes, there are things I don't love about it, I think, but I'm having trouble focusing on them because I enjoyed the episode so much. Awesome job on this one. Min's visions were great. Perrin was doing better here. I don't love the love triangle, apparently. The Perrin's interest in Egwene. I mean, I remember they mentioned this was coming, or someone claimed that it was. Not my favorite, but it's like needless at this point. I think. Maybe they'll make, I mean, I imagine there's a plan for it. But man, yeah, that's the one, maybe one thing I'm... So the nice thing about this episode, it at least explained away to some degree my biggest problem with the last episode, which was sort of a minor thing, which was the change in the ways and how they open. I understand now why they did it. I think, you know. And maybe they didn't have to do it, and maybe, who knows, maybe that change came about because of what happened with Matt, the actor playing Matt. I don't know. But they had to explain why they couldn't just go get him. Now, okay, Moraine trying to send a message to the Red Aja to pick Matt up. That's different. That's going to be interesting. I don't know what I think about that, but I do think it makes, you know, it makes it clear there's going to be some story arcs that are different moving forward. Not that there weren't already, but it's set up for even more of that. Anyway, so bottom line, for right now, I love this episode. I am more and more getting on board with the idea that, okay, this is the Wheel of Time, but not as I know it, and so therefore I get to watch and see what happens and not, you know, be surprised and not just know what's coming at every turn. I'm enjoying that, and as long as they do what they did in this episode more than they do what they did in the last couple in certain places, I'm gonna be okay. Or, you know, if they give me a chance to warm up to it and then hit me with an episode like this, then I don't know, that'll work for me. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go watch that again. And if I have further thoughts, I'll just make another video. See ya.